Hey guys, in today's pro tip, I'm going to share with you an actual tip. We've been talking about tools a lot, but today I'm going to give you an actual tip. And this was kind of inspired by my own recent experiences, and something that I love is cooking shows. And I love to watch the pros cook. I don't always watch the amateur, Chopped. Chopped is fun, and some of the amateur competitions. I want to see how the pros do it. I want to learn from the best. And there's one thing that every professional chef says on almost every episode. When they see someone doing something wrong, they say, hey, you gotta taste your food. You have to taste it. You can't send food out if you don't know if it's good, if it's too salty, if it's too vinegary, too acidic, too basic. There's so many things that can be wrong with your food that you can't see. You have to taste it. And so my pro tip for you today is very simple, but I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of help here. My pro tip for you is really to ask the question, have you watched your own live stream? Have you tasted your own meal? And I kind of had this experience last weekend. I was traveling on Friday, so I couldn't be here for the live show to record the podcast. And then I was also still traveling on Sunday, so I couldn't be at my church. So I got to watch the live stream for both Church Media Guys and the live stream for my church. Here's what I learned. First off, Church Media Guys is doing a lot better than I thought. When you're sitting behind the screen, you can kind of nitpick and things seem to take longer. I know Dave has to fix settings, and I'm just sitting here like, what is going on? People hate this. People must be leaving. This is boring. Who wants to sit here and listen to me chat? But actually, when I was on the road...
You're giving me a complex. You're giving me a complex. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, Dave. But actually, when I was on the road, I had a fantastic time watching the live recording, which, by the way, if you don't watch live, Fridays, 11 a.m. CST on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch us live, and it's so much fun. I was having a lot more fun seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff, laughing at the goofs, seeing the interesting commentary, because our live show, not everything makes it into the final product. There's some things that we share that just don't really flow into the show, so we cut it out, but it's still valuable information. Also had a lot of fun watching the chat, and then seeing how the chat can guide the conversation. Sometimes we come in with 3 tools or tips, and we end up doing 5 because the chat is asking such amazing questions. So the first thing I learned was CMG, the Church Media Guys, was actually a lot better than I thought it was. The second thing I learned was our church live stream was not as good as I thought it was. That's the opposite. I'm trying to watch the church live stream, and I know we had video issues. We don't really have a camera operator, so that we zoom in for the preacher and then we zoom out for the worship, but that's about it. And that was okay, but what I really noticed we're struggling with is our audio. I kept having to turn the volume knob because the band was so loud, and then the announcements were so soft, and the band was so loud, and the prayer was so soft, and then the sermon and then the special music was loud, and then the preacher came up and he was too soft. And so I knew we had some issues with video, but I had never actually, because I'm in church and I just kind of flip my phone on and I watch the comments, but I don't actually listen to it. And so just by tasting my own food, by watching my own live stream, I discovered a whole blind side that I just hadn't been paying attention to. Oh, this is really annoying. I can imagine people watching on their phones and they just have to click, click, click. Okay, here comes the speaker. Click, click, click. Let's go up. And then here comes the band. Click, click, click. That's annoying. And so I would have never noticed that if I hadn't tasted my own meal. And I wouldn't have noticed that Church Media Guys is doing pretty good if I hadn't, stepped away and tasted my own meal. So pro tip for you today, and I know this is a lot to ask for some people, but you should be able to get to the point where you can take a Sunday off, because you're just not going to be here forever. You should have people able to cover you. And so if you take a Sunday off and you're normally out like I am and you don't watch the live stream anyways, take one to purposely go home and watch your live stream like your audience. I watched Church Media Guys when I was out on the road. I watched the church live stream on my phone, and that's where I kind of noticed all these issues that I just never picked up on when I'm actually running the show. So pro tip, taste your food, do your live stream, and don't just check it in your office or check it on your computer. Check it on your phone, check it in your car, check it on home in your couch, because that's how your audience is watching it. Watch it like they would, and you'll see things like they would. And you'll notice either things aren't as bad, but probably what you'll notice is, whoa, there's a few things that I haven't noticed yet. Taste your own food. And as part of this pro tip, down below, I'm going to have a link to a checklist. I'm going to make a checklist, and I'm going to have Dave help me with it too, of all the things that you can and should check. So different devices you should be watching from, different locations, headphones, speakers, on the phone device, computer device, coloring, zooming, all these different things that you can check. So you can have kind of a total list. So even if you have a blind side and you just don't know to check for this, we'll kind of give you little hints of just, hey, is this okay? Is this level right? Are you having to do this? And it's going to really help you see and kind of audit your live stream and say, okay, well, this is where we need to go next, or these are the improvements we need to make in the summer to be ready for the fall kickoff. So taste your own food, watch your own live stream as your audience would. That's your pro tip for today.
So basically you're saying that y'all's church needs to add more garlic?
Yeah, it's not garlicky enough, way too much pepper. If it was, it's too undercooked. If it was a Disney movie, it'd be Little Mermaid because the lobster's about to walk away. That's my Gordon Ramsay impression.